With Manchester United having to settle for a point against Spurs last Friday. In today's episode of Alex Football, we do a match preview of Manchester United's next game against Sheffield United. We look at how Ole will likely line up against Sheffield United. We are starting right now. Before we get started, welcome to Alex Football. Alex Football is a channel dedicated to making videos around football related topics. If you enjoy watching football, smash that subscribe button to get notified whenever I release a new video. Let's begin. In the game against Spurs, Ole set up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Against Sheffield United, I expect him to shake things up by changing formation and personnel in some key positions. Here is my predicted lineup and formation. I see a switch to a 4-3-3 formation with the following players. At the goalkeeping position, whether we like it or not, I see Ole keeping De Gea in that position. Ole seems to have complete confidence in David De Gea. For some reason best known to him and the coaching staff and the coaching crew, they seem to believe that David De Gea is the number one for Manchester United, even given his history of committing errors leading to goals. His errors leading to goal over the past couple of seasons has been extremely high. His form has tailed off since the 2018 FIFA World Cup. He has rediscovered his best form since then. So for some reason, Ole and his team have complete confidence in David De Gea. Personally, for me, I would drop him. I would put Sergio Romero in his position against Sheffield because Romero seems to have an extremely good record in the cup competitions, in the Carling Cup, in the FA Cup, on the Europa League that he has played so far this season. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. So I see David De Gea keeping his number one spot in his Manchester United lineup against Sheffield United. Now let's start with the full-back position. Now with Shaw at the left-back position, Shaw is definitely keeping his place. I have no doubt about that in my mind. Ole will definitely stick to Shaw against Sheffield United. Shaw was a bit shaky in the initial first 30 minutes to 35 minutes against Spurs. I think it was his error that led to the goal against Manchester when we played against Spurs. But he came through in the second half and put in a decent performance in the second half. But let's not be too hard on him. It's the first game back in competitive matches, so we expect some shakiness and rustiness. But I think by this second game against Sheffield United, we should see a much more clean performance from Shaw. So I definitely see Shaw keeping his position against Sheffield United. Now, at the right back position, definitely Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka is definitely keeping his position. I don't think there should be more story or dispute about that. Not because we have a better alternative anyway, there was nobody. Even if he put in a woeful performance against Spurs in the last game, he's still keeping his position because we have no decent alternative. I wouldn't call Dalot an alternative. Yeah, he's a right back, but he's not at the level of Wan-Bissaka at the moment. So unluckily for us, Wan-Bissaka puts in a significant and awesome performance every game, day in, day out. So Wan-Bissaka definitely is the one that is at the right back position, definitely keeping his position at the right back position. Now, the centre back pairing, I start with Harry Maguire. Definitely Maguire is starting against Sheffield United. He's our captain, he's our best defender, whether we like it or not. He's our 18 million defender, so he's definitely starting. I don't think anyone should dispute that. Yes, I know he was at fault in combination with David De Gea. The goal against Spurs, he was definitely at fault. He allowed the winger, turned him, he was slow to turning. There's a lot of things we can complain about that Harry Maguire was at fault for not turning enough, not reacting enough, conceding that goal against Spurs, but still, Harry Maguire is our best defender in that Manchester United squad. He is among one of the top 3 ball-playing central defenders in the English Premier League. So there was no way Ole is not starting him, whether we like it or not. He's definitely starting. His leadership is also vital in that team. So definitely Maguire is starting for us. His ability to bring the ball out from the deep is vital to our system of playing. Remember, we no longer play long balls. We build up play now. So Maguire is key to that setup. If we can overlook the mismatch, the errors that occur at times, Maguire is still our best defender, so he's definitely starting, definitely. Up next is Victor Lindelof. Definitely is keeping his place in the starting lineup. He has been the go-to partner for Harry Maguire so far for Manchester United this season. Though it is not a partnership Bailey Bailey cannot break into. But at the moment, Ole is definitely sticking to the both of them as the best defensive partnership. They both possess different attributes and quality. Lindelof is better at spotting dangers than Harry Maguire, better on the taunts, quicker than Maguire also. He reads danger better than Harry Maguire, so he's definitely starting over Bailey. So I see Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire maintaining that partnership at the centre back position. Now at the holding midfield position, this is where I see Ole. I think Ole should switch things up. At this position, I believe Matic should start above McTominay. Now Matic is a more experienced defensive midfielder. He is a natural defensive midfielder. Keep in mind that Fred, McTominay are not defensive midfielders naturally. They are central midfielders, most especially McTominay. McTominay is a central midfielder, not a defensive midfielder. Matic on the other hand is a defensive midfielder. A defensive midfielder with the ability to spray long passes, play short passes, take the ball under pressure and distribute forward. These are qualities that Matic possesses that in some ways McTominay is limited at. McTominay has space, he has the energy to cover every blade of the grass, but there are some attributes that are needed for an holding midfielder, most especially in a squad that builds from the back. Your holding midfielder should be able to receive the ball under pressure, distribute pinpoint accurate passes, both short passes and long passes. These are qualities that Matic possesses. He can hold up the ball, take the ball under pressure, extremely strong, distribute accurate long passes. And I hope to see Matic starting above McTominay in this position. As the game wears on in the 60 minutes, in the 70 minutes, McTominay can come in and inject fresh leg, fresh pace, fresh energy into the game to a tiring opponent. But I believe Matic should start above McTominay in this game. Now for the central midfield pairs, I start with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is definitely starting tomorrow against Sheffield. Ever since he arrived in January, he has been a key man for Manchester United in the final third. 4 goals, 4 assists so far this season. That speaks to you about the quality of player he is and the quality he brings to Manchester United in the final third. He has linked up well with the forward men with Rashford, Martial, Daniel James or Greenwood. He has been excellent for us so far this season with the passing, with the crossing, with the confidence he has shown on the ball. He's not scared of taking a shot from outside. He has been vital to the resurgence we have experienced in our final third. We've shown more creativity, we have shown more passing, we have shown more penetration in the final third compared to when it was not there. So he has also eased the absence of Pogba on the team. Pogba used to be our most creative player. His arrival has changed that now. You're seeing him stepping up to the plate and offering a lot of creativity in his final third. For me, his creativity will be vital and important against Sheffield United because as expected, they will be setting up in low block, defending deep. We need a lot of creativity on the pitch tomorrow and no one offers it better than Bruno Fernandes at the moment, so he's definitely starting. That creativity puts him on the pitch tomorrow, definitely starting. Now the other midfield pair that must partner Bruno Fernandes in the central midfield position is Paul Pogba. Pogba has to start tomorrow. Ole cannot afford to keep him on the bench. He had a very good 30 minutes warm-up against Spurs. He did more than decent on against Spurs. He practically won the game for us. He won the penalty for us. We could see the quality it brings to when he came onto the pitch, the game changed for us. Our penetration in the final third became much better. Passing became much better. Our ability to carve open spots became also better. So I do not see Ole keeping him on the bench tomorrow. He has to start against Sheffield United. Fred was decent in the first half, a little bit shaky in midfield, but we need creativity against a team like Sheffield that will be sitting low block, defending deep. We need every bit of creativity on that pitch tomorrow. So Paul Pogba should definitely start. Take for instance that pass from midfield to Marcus Rashford. If Marcus Rashford had been able to convert that pass into a goal, we should have won that game against Spurs, but unfortunately he could not get his foot around the ball. So you could see the kind of quality that Pogba brought to us in that game against Spurs. We need that level of quality against Sheffield United because like I said earlier, they will be defending deep, so we need a lot of creativity. So Pogba is definitely starting for me tomorrow against Sheffield. Now let's talk about the front three. On the left hand side of the attack, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford keeps his spots on the left hand side of the attack. In the game against Spurs, we saw a little bit of rustiness in his game. Take for instance his failure to control that beautiful pass from Pogba from midfield. He simply could not get his legs around it fast enough, control it well enough to take a shot at the goalkeeper. But remember, it's the first game back after a 3-month layoff, so such level of rustiness is expected. But against Sheffield United, I expect expect to see a much more fitter, confident Marcus Rashford against Spurs. So he needs those minutes in his leg to get better and to get fitter. So definitely Marcus Rashford is starting. We cannot underestimate his ability and the quality it brings to Manchester United attack. So Rashford starts tomorrow. The centre forward position, definitely Anthony Martial. Martial keeps his place. He was not very clinical in the game against Spurs. He has some very good chances to turn the game around for us. Unfortunately, he could not convert due to the brilliance of Hugo Lloris in that game. But definitely Martial keeps his spot. He's one of our most clinical players in that squad at the moment. So he might not be able to hold up play, hold his back against goal. But when it comes to finishing, he's one of the best we have in that squad. So definitely Martial is starting against Sheffield United tomorrow. On the right hand side of the attack, I think Ole should drop Daniel James and start Greenwood. Greenwood offered so much for us in the second half when he came on. He held up the ball brilliantly. He created chances, he created goal scoring opportunity for himself. And the way he was gliding through the opposition players, you would think he's a 25-year-old experienced winger, whereas he's just an 18-year-old boy. So I see Greenwood definitely starting over Daniel James tomorrow. He offered so much in the final third for us in the second half when he came on. Daniel James on the other hand did very little for us in this first half. His performance was poor, extremely poor. The key to Daniel James games is speed. When there's space for Daniel James to run into, he's always at his best. But unfortunately for him against Spurs, they set up in a low block, and a low block team takes away space. There was no space to run into. So he offered very little for us in the final third from the attacking perspective. He did track back, alright. He did track back defensively. He did help out a lot. But we needed him in the final third more than in the defensive position because Wan-Bissaka had that defensive aspect taken care of. So we expect more from Daniel James in the final third. And against Sheffield United, they are expected to set up in a low block, deep defense, no space to run into. So we need player like Greenwood. We can take on the offender, take on the opposition, glide through them, create goal scoring opportunities for himself, shoot with the left foot or the right foot. For me, it is Greenwood that is starting at that right hand side against Sheffield tomorrow. Conclusion, I see Manchester United winning this game. They have to win this game if they have any hope or chance of qualifying for the Champions League next season. Currently, Chelsea lead us by more than 3 points, so we need to win this game and put more pressure on Chelsea. Chelsea next game is against Manchester City. Hopefully our city neighbors can do us a favor by winning the game against Chelsea. But to keep the pressure on Chelsea, we have to win this game against Sheffield. So I see Manchester United throwing it all in and getting that 3 points against Sheffield United. Thanks for watching Alex Football. Like, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.